on Twitch? What is?
Stream Queens, same one.
I
Twitch.tv
swear I was
slash.
reading stuff, but there we go. Yes.
And I think there's a tweet that y'all have all been tagged in.
Let me mute my iPad so you don't have to be hearing it. Ah, thank you. Okay, I will retweet that.
We're live. I have a chicken sandwich in my mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Not live with the chicken sandwich in your mouth. No.
I'm sorry. Can we like start again? Can we just go again?
We did it.
No, we can't.
Oh my gosh.
The world.
Oh, geez.
Real
Okay,
life.
professionalism. Hello, everyone. My name is 6CBB, aka Rudy6. Welcome to Reclaiming My Time. We are starting with some laughs. Welcome to our Creators with Disabilities panel, our Black Creators with Disabilities panel. I hope that we're all enjoying our weekend so far. Thank you so much to our planning team, to our channel moderators, our panel moderators. Thank you to everybody Black who is participating in this event. I'm trying to walk away. Chicken sandwich and
Breathe.
Oh no, I'm about to pass it to y'all. I'll be introducing myself after everybody else. Let's hear from this fierce Nikki Stones. Why don't you introduce yourself? We're so happy to have
Oh my
you.
goodness.
Tell the people about who you are.
안녕하세요, Nikimida. Hi everyone, my name is Nikki Stones and I'm the neon-loving K-pop obsessed drag queen from Dublin, Ireland. I'm a member of Team Stream Queens, your local non-binary crush and an autistic drag legend. You may be wondering, hey, Nikki looks white. Why is she on this panel? Turns out, my mom is actually from North Africa and a lot of my heritage comes from North Africa. So I just wanted to address that and just put that out there. Like I'm white presenting, but I'm mixed race. Yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you very much. Nikki will be speaking more on this during the mixed race panel, which we'll be having later on today. But, you know, Nikki is just as much a member of Team Stream Queens as the other Black creators on Team Stream Queens. And we wanted to make sure, once Nikki let us know and spoke up about their heritage, being a white passing Black person is still being a Black person. So we're excited to hear about your perspective here at this con as well, Nikki. And let's see who else we got on the panel today. We have another friend of ours who has been with us for multiple panels. We have the incredible Jay Justice, and we're living long and prospering today. Hello, Jay.
That's right. Hey guys, thanks for having me on again. I'm Jay Justice. I'm a cosplayer, editor, consultant, and advocate for marginalized people. I'm also a game developer. My latest project was the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, so please check that out. I love to make costumes. I love to create content and make programming that represents everyone and makes the fandom more inclusive. And as a disabled person who has what people would call an invisible disability, because if you don't see me in the wheelchair, you have no idea. Like people can just kind of like consume your content and see you standing up, holding another girl in your arms for 2 seconds and be like, oh, wow, yeah, you're super buff. And I'm like, right. No. So it's definitely about representation, about broadening the idea of what a disabled person can look like and what they can or cannot do, and understanding that it's a spectrum that includes many different types of disabled people. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Love it. Love it. Absolutely adore having you on the panels, Jay. We have two friends that are joining us for the first time for, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know, this is the third disability panel that we've had in 3 months at twitch.tv/Stream Queen. So we're doing some cool things here. And we're going to talk about sort of how we can push the conversation beyond what we've already talked about. So before we get into that, let's also meet our friend Jaya Day. Hello, Jaya. Jaya there?
Is she like lagging a little bit?
I think so. Oh yeah, I think you've got your
lagging a little bit.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Oh no.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No. Okay. Hi, I'm Jaya. I'm a creator from TikTok, best known as BB Jaya. I have diplegic cerebral palsy, scholastic diplegic cerebral palsy. The diagnosis recently changed, so I always get it wrong. But yeah. So that's me. So yeah.
Wonderful. So good to have you. So good to have you, Jaya Day. TikTok creator, get on the TikTok party. And we also have Dynamic Reactions, who is also a Twitch streamer and also on other platforms. Hi, Dynamic. Tell the people about yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dynamic Reactions. I'm a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, and a music producer in my spare time. I do reactions. We do variety over on my channel, but I'm bleeding Genshin Impact right now. I have the same type of cerebral palsy as Jaya does, actually. So,
Interesting.
quadriplegic gang gang.
Gang, gang.
But yeah, basically that's it. I'm real happy to be here.
So happy to have all of you here today. First, let's just
Yo, how are
do
we
a quick
on Twitch and
check-in.
I forgot to say that I Twitch stream?
Oh,
Literally, how are we on Twitch and I forgot to say, oh yeah, I'm a Twitch streamer. I stream every Tuesday, Rusty Gay Ass Art, where we and my friend drag queen extraordinaire Demanda Martini do some real gay art together. And I also do cosplay crafting on stream, and I stream video games like Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, and all that fun stuff. I'm like, oh right, yeah, Twitch. But sorry, go ahead, y'all.
easy to leave some things out when you're doing it all. You know what I'm saying? And for anyone that doesn't know me, my name is, I go by 60BB, twitch.tv/60BB. The X is for myself as a musician, Rudy6. The BB is for myself as a drag artist. I'm a Betty Black. I'm a member of Team Stream Queens. I myself do not have a disability, but I do have a history of working with children on the autistic spectrum, and I'm just very passionate about these conversations. So we out here, we doing the thing. And I guess to start, I think that we should sort of touch base first on intersectionality, because we're going to be talking. We talked about this in January with Nikki and with Jay. I think Jay had an excellent definition of what intersectionality is. So, Jay, would you mind preaching it out to the people to let everyone know what intersectionality is?
Sure. Okay, if you're not aware of the term, intersectionality is an analytical tool created by Kimberly Crenshaw, which allows you to analyze situations and access to make sure that you are considering how the work that you're creating, how the way you're hiring for a position, how you're treating other people considers the different intersections of the person you're speaking to. And it was created because she is a Black woman. And as Black women, we are treated differently. We are treated as less than. We are not paid as much as our peers. We have to work twice as hard to get half. And if you're not taking into account what someone's encountering in terms of prejudice and discrimination, then you're not treating them the way they should be treated. And because intersectionality has been around for many years, it can also be used to examine the intersections of being Black and disabled, or being Black and queer and disabled. Like, there's so many different ways that you can use it. And it's definitely a tool people should use to analyze, okay, we're having an event for queer people, but is it intersectional? Are we taking into account access to the building? Is there going to be a ramp? Is there going to be an elevator? Like, are we going to have translators available for people who are hard of hearing or deaf? There's so many different ways that you can use this, and it's free. Like, it just requires the use of your brain and empathy.
Yeah.
That's it.
And just, taking the time and the patience to get to know people and get to learn their experiences. And that's a huge reason why we want to have panels like this, just to have these open conversations, to get to get y'all's stories and y'all's experiences out to people that might not be able to immediately know what you go through. So on the subject of intersectionality, let's talk about the intersections of all of you. So feel free to share, about your story with being Black, your story with having a disability, any other intersections that you find yourself at, and tell us about your life on social media. Just, a small question.
Oh, so question. We're gonna start real small. We're not gonna get into any kind of, well, actually. So because race was basically created to prioritize people who were white and deprioritize everybody else, it's all about what you're worth and how much you can do and what you can offer and like how much people can get out of you. And as disabled people, our value is seen as like all the way down at the bottom. Oh, you're not able to work, you're not able to make money, therefore you have no value. And it's all about the economy. It's all about commodifying human beings. That's what racism is. That's what ableism is. And all those things together, people don't really see where it comes from, but that's where it is. That's why we always say racism is just fascism that hasn't reached you yet. That's it. Ableism is all part of the same network. And so the more we work to dismantle those issues, the more equality we can all have. And like, I can talk too much. I know this, so I'm gonna let you guys continue on. But that's all I really wanted to say is that people need to understand that discrimination that we face for being disabled is the same racism everybody else is getting. They just don't know.
Yes, Jay Justice is the unofficial moderator of this panel.
Right.
Stop it!
No, Jay, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I adore having you. Just on panels, off panels, I love talking to you. So dynamic. What? Let's go to you. What's your? Tell us about your intersections and sort of what your experience has been.
The other thing I forgot to mention during the bio.
Well, I mean, I am also mixed race. My mom is beautiful, dark skinned. My dad is a vanilla ice cream cone. I don't know how else. But of course, growing up, having two different races, two different cultures to kind of like glean off of has always been different. But being disabled too in the Black community is very interesting because we're just now learning as a race how to deal with mental health, and physical health isn't something necessarily having a disability like mine where you're in a wheelchair like 80% of the time you can hide or necessarily push down or not deal with. So having that social environment even within our own families can sometimes be very difficult. That support because they don't know exactly what's right and they don't know how to bring it up. So stuff like that
That's so huge.
has just been very interesting in my 23 years.
Yeah. No, that speaks to such a real point. The mental health conversation alone in the Black community is
Baby.
it's a journey. So, Jaya, what about you?
So actually, that's how I blew up on TikTok, because I was speaking about intersectionality, because I noticed during the Black Lives Matter protest over the summer, disabled people weren't included in the conversation when discussing police brutality and police killings. So I was saying how people with disabilities have more of a target on their back because sometimes we aren't able to communicate what we need, and especially when police see our skin color first, it's very hard to be like, hey, I also have a disability, so when you pull me out of this car or do whatever you're gonna do, I might not be able to do what you need me to do, what you want me to do. So yeah.
And that makes me think of I feel like wasn't there a story about a Black person who was like tackled or assaulted by a police officer? Wasn't there a story about a Black person with a disability?
There are very, very many stories
There's
like
really
that.
many, yeah.
There's loads of them.
Yeah, and yeah, of course, there's always whatever we hear in the media just scratches the surface of the real number of the stories. But that just came back to me. One of the stories that blew up really big last year. But yes, continuing on, Nikki, talk to us about your intersectionality and your experiences.
I mean, I think my experiences have been very, very different. Like, clearly, my experiences will be very different because, like, when I walk down the street, people don't look at me and they're like, "Oh, that person's not Black at all." So I've had a very, very, very different experience in terms of the way I was treated going through school and the way I was treated in like the mental health services in Ireland. And now, like, I'm gonna say it here, and I know that if there's Irish people in the chat, they will 100% agree with me. Ireland is a racist country. Ireland still lives in like the 1950s. We only just legalized abortion like 2 years ago. Like, when in terms of everything and the way, like, the things that I've seen of like, you'll see people like myself with autism walking down the street completely ignored by the police, and then if it was a Black person with autism doing the exact same things, immediately the police are questioning them, trying to figure out what's going on. What's like, why are you acting like that? You must be sus. You must, like, oh yeah, no, this is like, we're going to take you in. Like, that this happens on a daily basis, and the fact that I can see it on a daily basis, and yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to do about it, So I guess so we sort of spoke about our day-to-day lives. Let's talk a little bit about your experiences on your platforms. I know, Jaya, you were saying that you blew up from speaking about intersectionality on TikTok. Thank you for speaking on it. It's so important to have the conversations, and obviously, since you blew up, people want to hear that. I have also heard about people being removed from TikTok for talking about disabilities. Is
Yeah.
that something that you've heard about?
Yeah, actually, it's a big issue within TikTok. So one thing that creators, especially like Black and disabled creators, have noticed is that like they only really care about our voices when they can like monetize off of them. So like during times like Black History Month or like the height of the Black Lives Matter protests, that was a time that everybody cared about these issues. So um of course, that's when they're boosting our content because that's the most likely time that they are able to get money off of us. But now I noticed that for me personally, I am shadow banned. So any disabled content that I make, people, I might get like 100 likes on it, and I have over 100,000 followers. So the ratio isn't adding up. And then I noticed that whenever we talk about like people being ableist within the TikTok community, they'll keep their video up, but then like suppress our videos. So yeah, and I think it's because they're trying to say that it's so we don't get bullied off the app. But I'm saying, like, how does this help if you're bullying us? I mean, if you're taking down our content, but keeping up the ableist content, like, how does that make sense? So it's all over the place.
We're marginalizing you to keep you from getting marginalized.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody
the
uses
trolls-
that as an excuse, even Twitch.
Oh my God.
I will say
Yes.
it. We're sitting on Twitch right
Yeah,
now.
say
Oh,
it. Speak
Twitch
on it.
Oh,
with the disability tag. Like, we don't want you to get harassed by having a
Listen.
disability tag. Like, listen, we're grown people. We can handle ourselves.
It's
I
like
will
abusive
kick you out
parents
of my
saying, "I'm
chat.
abusing you
The
because
trolls are the trolls are still gonna find us. No
Mhm.
tag or not,
Right.
whether we're shadow banned or not, the trolls are still gonna find us, and we're still gonna have to fight them off either way. It's just the only difference is the trolls go out of their way to find these people to harass, to marginalize,
Yeah.
to bully, and it's hard. It's so difficult because those trolls know where to look. People who are looking for creators like us sometimes don't know where to look.
Mhm.
So that's why we like the shadow banning, the tags, all of this. We like
It's a recurring conversation across
Yeah.
many platforms because it's the same it's a similar conversation to what we have about the trans tag because Twitch tells us that we're waiting, we don't want to create a tag to send more harassers your way, but like Nikki said, they will find us. But tags and videos like Jaya's, that those are how we find our community to protect one another from the harassers. So a dynamic. Did you have something that you wanted to add to this?
I just be hopping in the closed captions tag because nobody else captions content but disabled people.
Yeah, same.
So that's
same.
an
I'll be,
unofficial
hopping in
disabled
closed
tag.
captions,
Go
just
through the
being
closed
like,
caption tag.
"Hello,
Oh, look who
person."
actually cares enough to caption. That's the homies.
Mhm.
That's the homies.
But yeah, I started my platform on Twitch specifically. I feel like at the right time because accessibility in gaming is now like a bigger issue.
6 months ago.
It's a huge issue now. Like the first
Mhm.
game that I ever streamed was Last of Us Part 2. And seeing all the motor accessibility options for someone like me who has a fine motor disability and can't necessarily move their hands, so I was like, oh, this is a whole category for me. But yeah, I definitely just want there to be a whole lot more spaces for us as a community to like come together as content creators and be, I hate to use the word inspiration because people use that a lot on us for a lot of the wrong reasons, but to be an inspiration to our own people, to be like, hey, I'm disabled and I did this, and so hey, you can get on here, you can be on Twitch, you can be a content creator too. You can
You can blow up on TikTok.
destigmatize this word that we love to use, disabled, because people hate using it.
I think providing community is what we're really meaning when we say inspiration, because we're not really. I don't think that I'm inspired. I'm more like I'm providing community to other disabled creators because it makes them feel like that they belong, that they can join us and they can have fun too. So I get what you mean because Abel's use that word to be like, oh wow, if this person can do it, then maybe I can get off my behind and do something too.
Yeah.
Like,
Stop
oh
leaning
wow,
on
their
folks.
hardships really inspired me. I'm so tired. Oh my
Stop
God.
leaning on marginalized folks to give yourself the boost to, go to work or whatever you got to do. Like, we're all, y'all are living your own lives and just
Right.
we're all just doing our thing. Uh, so, does anybody else want to add anything about other platforms that you have had experiences with? I think that if we really show people that these things happen on various platforms and it's a similar storyline in certain places, then they can just know the things to look out for. We just twitched TikTok and YouTube here.
You know what's funny? And this is before the pandemic. I would have been like, I would have had like so many stories about going to conventions and people doing all kinds of able nonsense. But we're going on a year since the last con we went to, and I mean I miss everybody, but like I don't miss random folks trying to sit on my wheelchair. I don't miss random folks asking me if
Oh
I'm
Lord.
riding it for fun or if they can get a ride too. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh
so
my God,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's talk about personal space. I
yeah,
think
I never.
Yeah.
during our last
Y'all ain't gonna see
panel,
me outside this. No.
during the last panel we talked a lot about personal space and
Obnoxious.
ableist people really invading the space of folks with disabilities for whatever. I still don't understand why, but what are some of y'all's experiences with
It's I can explain. It's the infantilization of seeing a disabled adult. They presume that even if you have a mental or physical disability, they presume that you are like a child and that you need their assistance. Even if you didn't ask for help, even if you literally just try and swipe your Metro card and go to work, they're like, "Oh, can I help you?" I'm like, "Get away from me!" Or like, I'm in a regular restaurant going to the bathroom. When I tell you this person pried open a single stall door to try to come in there with me to see if I needed assistance, I'm like, "I'm going to pee on your foot. You better get out of this bathroom."
piss on the floor? Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, that's disgusting.
I'm never going to Portland again. I am
That-
not
Listen.
kidding. It was horrible. It was so gross.
They-
It is a single stall. What are you doing? Oh my God. Because
They
I
might
was
as well buy you
drunk.
dinner
I was
first.
Obviously.
Please.
Might as well buy you dinner first. Like if you're
Well,
going to do
well,
that.
maybe I would have, but I ain't calling the police so they can shoot me.
No. I do not want dinner from whoever that is.
Nope.
Yo, that was too much. I was like, okay.
There's something
Maybe
additional going on
she
there.
thought, oh, but where's your carer? Where's your nurse? She's not here to help. I'm like, what is this? What is this assumption that a disabled person can't be out in public without like some kind of like medical
A handler, like
Right.
And if you have one, that's great. I'm happy for you. Not everybody's health insurance covers that. Not everybody's
Yeah.
medical needs like would address that. Like not everybody needs an assistant, but like
but it's
common
not
sense
this
leaves
strange
someone's
business.
mind and the ableism just takes over. It's just
Right.
no. So yeah, we definitely got to unpack the whole this person has disability, I must infantilize them immediately thing, because that's just got to stop.
Yeah.
It's just so wild because
Talking to your
just,
parent
don't.
or your nurse or whatever instead of talking to you.
It's so bizarre because
Wait.
you don't see that with other marginalized communities. Like you don't see people
Prioritizing
doing
a
that
caretaker, teacher,
to
or
folks of
opinion
Asian
over your
descent or
own.
queer folks
Mhm.
or
Exactly that. And I think one of the things that definitely frustrates me about that whole situation is we're like, we as disabled folk are asking for like, hey, we want to be able to do things. We want to be able to do things by ourselves. We're asking for the means to do this, whether that's a ramp or something like that. And if people are consistently coming into our personal space, like messing around with us and treating us as if we're like we always need this help, we're never going to get that help because all they're going to consistently believe is we need help.
Right.
100%.
Like one example for me is like I will like go to Guitar Center with my mom or something. I use a lot of audio gear. I get a lot of chords on a daily basis. But I'll go into Guitar Center with my mom. The first thing they'll do instead of looking at me is look at her. Hello, ma'am. What do you need? And mom has to be like, no, talk to her. I don't know anything about this mess. She knows what she needs. Like, I think partly it's because people see that and they're just like, they have, of course, the notions that the world puts it in them, like, oh, it's a person in a wheelchair, help them, etc., etc. But like also me as a mixed person, I cannot tell you how many times I've had somebody come up and be like, oh, let me help you. And then also at the same time, try and touch my hair. Please stop.
I knew you were gonna say
Please
that.
don't.
God.
It's just like crazy from that standpoint, but yeah, normally, thank God, I have a friend with me or my mom, and they'll just be like, "Ayo, no."
That's the picture of intersectionality right there.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. Jai, did you have anything you wanted to add for your experiences with personal space and
God bless.
Definitely,
truly?
I think able-bodied people do a lot of what they do to make themselves feel better about,
Mhm.
like, just to, I don't know, it's just so frustrating because it's like we, as disabled people, we grow up, well, for people that's born with their disability, we grow up our entire lives learning how to adapt. And being that we don't talk about disabled people in the same way that we do everything else, people that aren't within our communities don't understand that. And it's like, no, I know that, like, when I need to get to a door, how to handle that situation. And if I need help, I'll ask for help. But don't just assume because you see me in a wheelchair or you see me walking with a limp or anything like that, that I need your assistance. Like, no.
Makes me think of just guilt as an emotion, because like that sort of, you saying that them going out of their way to help, it centers them more than it centers the person they are trying to help. And it also makes me think of like when someone like misgenders you or says something offensive, how if you point that out to somebody, people might get, they might go into like hysterics and do this big scene of an apology, which still centers that person. So I guess my question is, I guess what role do you think
Excuse me.
that does that make sense? That's like this parallel that I'm drawing. I'm thinking about people's guilt, whether it's white guilt or ableist guilt, whatever it is. What role do you think that plays in these interactions? Because I cannot make sense of these things that people do to invade the space of folks with disabilities.
It's that whole thing of like doing good to make yourself feel better, and like doing good to get something out of it instead of just doing good to be good. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just seeing. I'm just trying again. I think I'm just trying to make sense. I don't know what it is I'm getting at. I'm just trying to
I
make
mean,
sense of this
I think
nonsense.
in my experience, it's that when these people look at a disabled person, they don't see a person, they see a problem to be solved. They see
Right.
something that they want to fix. And because they can't fix it, that's when the guilt comes in.
Hmm.
Like, I'm waiting for the train, and it's one of those above ground, like a regional rail in New York State, right? And I'm on my chair, and the guy's like, you can't ride the train. I'm like, I paid for my ticket. What you mean I can't ride the train? He's like, well, I'm not lifting that up. I'm like, I didn't ask you to. I have a 30-pound wheelchair that I can fold myself and I can carry on myself. No one asked him for anything, but his immediate response was not, do you need assistance? Or here's the train, or like anything, but no. His first, it was just no. And I'm like, because you didn't see a person, you saw a problem. And you treated me like a problem. And you dang right I got his badge number and wrote his behind up. But like, if you just treat people with respect and you don't look past their humanity and only see a disability or a thing that you can't fix, that's like step one of just being a decent human being. And that's where all the guilt comes in. If they're not in a position of power, like a station manager or something, just a regular person, they don't know what to do with that conflict of, I've been socialized to see this person as like less than me and something that needs to be fixed. I don't know how to reconcile that with wanting to be nice to them. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize for things that I haven't even done and just go into this whole cycle of misery. And I'm like, I want to get off this ride. I didn't sign up for this. I'm just trying to exist in a laundromat. What are you doing? Like, it's just, it's so weird. And I'm tired of it. Like, I understand it, but I also don't want any part of it at the same time.
You're perfect. That's exactly. Yeah, that's great. No,
Or
that's so it is. Sorry, dynamic. Go ahead.
or like another form of this, my favorite thing, sarcasm, that I love to hear. I'm sitting randomly somewhere, some random person comes up, can I pray for you? No.
Oh, Lord Jesus, no.
The amount of, okay, so I used to be a Bible basher, right? Like a proper, I would go to church, I would like have the Bible, I'd be like, pray the gay away, pray the autism away, all that. I was that bitch. But
wow.
like one of like the amount of times I would be going to church and there would be this one same person who'd always come up to me and be like, can I pray for you? And he'd put his hand on me and he just started saying this like mumbo jumbo, and I was like, I just wanted to get my biscuits. Like, can I just have my cup of tea, please?
I just wanted to get the biscuits. Oh,
Wow.
no.
Like,
It's
No.
wild to me. It's absolutely
Yo,
wild. And
I'm a Christian, but honey, no. This was not a mistake. Please get out of my face.
honey,
Please.
honey.
I don't know what you need.
I think what Jay really alluded to is the biggest part. Look at people as people.
Right.
Point blank, period. And don't attach all of your baggage to other people or things that you might not even know that you need to work through. Don't attach all of that to other people and their lives and their experiences. So, oh my goodness. So let's shift gears a little bit. We'll come back to some venting sessions if necessary. But let's talk about I'm sure
you'll know there'll be loads of those.
But let's talk about positive experiences that y'all have had on your platforms, in
boy.
your communities. Where are things? What are conversations, events, occurrences? What things are going right in your communities that you want to share with people, so that we can see how to I don't know, just how are you being supported in your ventures, your endeavors? How are you able to do what you do?
I mean, my community, we're really small, but I'm always intentional about creating a safe space for all kinds of people and kind of educating on what CP is and always talking about the accessibility in the games that I play. Even if we're diving into a new game or something, I always talk about how this could be improved, why it's a struggle for me as a person who struggles with the things that I struggle with. Um, in terms of finding other disabled creators, it's been really fun. Like Trippin' Crutch, who is in here, I found him through a different stream team. So it's just fun finding other disabled people. It's just like, hey, I found my people on the internet.
Yes, and Trippin'
So,
Crutch wishes they could be here today, but they weren't able to
yes.
make it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I absolutely love that. And really quick, while we're talking about accessibility, I do want to announce and share for our audience. I do apologize that we do not have our closed captions for this event. We have been running into some issues with our web captioner. Such is the nature of closed captioning. So stay tuned. We'll continue to work on proper solutions for these things. I love that dynamic.
If you want to try for the future,
Yeah.
I've been using the Zoom captions and they've been really good for my stream, and it's got multiple people talking and it still happened to work. So, but the thing is, it's only for paid accounts. So pass around the Ko-fi or whatever for Stream Queen to see if people can donate to that, because it's
The
worth it. What is it,
collection
$12 a
plate.
month, just so I can have captions and never have to worry about it again.
And for each participant, it just captions through the microphone feeding into Zoom.
I would say definitely test it out, because I've had this many people, but I've had like 3 and it was fine.
Okay, work. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, I was wondering how you did that. So I take a note of it.
Zoom does something right. We love that. We'll look into that. But yes, continuing to talk about accessibility. So Dynamic, you talked about The Last of Us 2. Before we go on to the next person, what are other games that you've experienced that get it right?
Genshin, definitely, they have some things that could definitely use some work. Like, it's definitely not playable for the blind in any sort of way, but motor-wise, it's very nice. Button reconfigurations, they just added not too long ago. They're a really open company, so I really appreciate the way that they've been approaching everything. But, let's see. What else? Dead by Daylight, they're working on their accessibility in their game right now. There's nothing in particular in the game that's out other than color blindness they just added for their features, but the controls are pretty basic. You can reconfigure. Only mode that isn't playable for me as a person with motor issues is killer mode, but Survivor you can do pretty well, and they are putting in work progress on that. But yeah, those are my go-to games. Nice. That and Sims, obviously.
We have some Sims stands that come through these panels. Jaya, for
Can I
yourself.
talk a little bit about a game that I found to be like pretty
Yeah.
accessible? I was really enjoying it. So
Yeah,
I
go
have
for it.
some
We'll
Call of
come
Duty
back.
in my hands, and Control has so many different settings that you can use to
I've
make
heard
it so much
such
easier
good
than your
things.
usual shooter.
Ooh, the
You
game
heard good things
control.
about that
Such
one?
I've heard
Yeah, the
good
such a
game
things
good
about
Control.
game for
Control,
that.
yes.
It really
I
is.
I
Like, oh my god.
even just the fact like I don't really have any. I have issues with coordination, and I'm like when there's like 15 different buttons that I'm trying to press all at one time. Even just the ability of being able to like move, like just move the mappings and everything to just have them in like a tiny little spot, so I can like just smack my hand down and hit all the buttons that I need to, or having them on my mouse or something. It's just so handy and it's so good.
It's really cool to see these games coming out that are really setting examples for what game
The auto
developers
targeting,
can
the fact that you
do.
can change the way that you shoot
Yes.
things to make it easier for you, it's really good.
Fears. So Control, Last of Us 2, DVD, Survivor More Than Killer, Fears, and Genshin. Although there's some work that needs to be done, and I'm sure the list goes on. And feel free to, we can throw in more as we go. Jaya, I know that you're not as much in the gaming sphere, but talk to us about what experiences you've encountered that have been, that are reflective of your community on TikTok or elsewhere, that allow you to create your content, that give you support in what you do.
Yeah, so a big thing for me is like parents coming to me, like telling me how they're happy that they see like somebody like their child. Because I don't know, it sometimes it can feel a little bit ableist, but they'd be like, I don't know, I just didn't see much of like a future for my child, and I'm like, I don't know how to feel about that. But anyways, I'm happy that I can be a bit of like representation for your child. And a lot of like teenagers come to my account and they're like, oh my gosh, I also have this disability. So like it's really empowering even for me to like see other people, even if they're not necessarily content creators, but just like telling me like their stories and stuff like that. And the big thing for me, because I'm also a film major in college, so a big thing for me is talking about representation, disabled representation within like film and TV. So that's a big thing too, because a lot of people don't realize that most of us being able to see ourselves on the screen is like a big part of like whether or not we internalize ableism or internalize racism within ourselves. So I make sure to tell people like, hey, there's this content out. Make sure to watch it. And another big thing about that is most of the representation that we see for disabled folk within media is white. So like I try to like give them as much diversity as I possibly can, because like I try to explain to people like, yes, I may be disabled, but I'm also black and I'm also queer and I'm also low income. So it's very important to see, going back to intersectionality, those intersectionalities within like TV and film. So.
Is that your cat? Whose cat is that? Who has a cat meowing?
Oh, Cole, they can hear you crying. Be quiet.
Oh,
A kitty
Little
was
kitty.
making themselves known. They said, "This is
Door
What's
my
wrong
that
with you
down.
now? I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. No, I think that's so.
Sad.
Not me thinking to say inspiring, but it's good. It's good that you are being like a just someone visible for people that see themselves in you. And I apologize for if parents are writing these messages with some ableist language, but no, I think that's really cool that to get that feedback is really powerful. And the role of representation is huge. It's so huge, because even just looking for specifically like black creators with disabilities for this panel, it's like I said, Jay, Jay, do you know anyone? And it's hard to find black folks at the intersections of identity.
I'm gonna fight you. No, it's not. We're just very busy and we work very hard. That's why we found them. They were
No,
not
that's true.
available because they got booked and busy for Black History Month.
That's true. Jason, I'm gonna fight you.
Like,
Fight me.
there's a
You
whole
know what?
database.
Correct me.
If you
Oh,
Google,
and
if you Google Black disabled creatives, there are hundreds of us all about the world, probably some in the rest of the universe too. I don't know. I ain't been out there yet. Don't ignore the Starfleet. And I'm just saying, we exist. You have to just do the work and find us and book us early because we say this out here.
And let's get
Anyway.
more people booking. 'Cause and I say that to say that it's it's important to center these folks so that we can see that we can even find them without having to go and like search for database. I should be able to find people like y'all and people like our Black trans creators on the front page of Twitch or on our blowing up on like we can these are it's a long way to go to get these things to happen, but you're absolutely right. These creators are out here doing the damn thing, and right now we do have to put in the work to find them. So thank you all for being out there and for being here.
I will also
funny?
say
That's the thing. Jayade mentioned being low income as well as being Black and disabled, and that's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
Right.
Nikki?
I will also say,
My sound cut out.
while it is amazing to see all of these Black disabled creators being booked and blessed for Black History Month, don't just stop because we're at the end of Black History Month. These Black disabled creators, we are this is our life. This is what we do. Book us whether it's Black History Month or not. You shouldn't be going this is to showrunners. This is to event organizers. This to everyone. Don't just book us to have a token Black person or a token mixed person or a token disabled person.
Yep.
Book us because we are just as good, if not better, than some of these other people that are getting booked. We
100%.
just because we're talking about it during Black History Month doesn't mean that it's something that doesn't go on throughout the entire year.
Yeah. And we spoke about performative activism during the Black Lives Matter.
I have so much commentary for this. Oh God.
Do it. We're jumping right in. I said, we had a little sweet moment. We're gonna jump back into some venting if need be. So let's talk about performative activism, and we'll circle back to proper activism.
No, not really venting. It's just that what Nikki was saying makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to expound upon that?
Well, yeah, what Nikki was saying about how we are just as good. Oh no, we're always twice as good. We have to work twice as hard to get half of the recognition and half the reward and half the pay. And what Jayade was saying earlier about the fact that you're at the intersection of being disabled and Black and low income, that's not a coincidence. It's literally, especially if you're in the US, it is designed for you to remain low income, and it is an unescapable poverty trap because it is illegal for a disabled person who is receiving health insurance through the government in this country to make more than $14,000 a year, and that's if you are blind.
Yep.
If you are a sighted person but have a disability of a different type, you can be limited at like $12,000 a year. And that's not saying that you're going to get $12,000. It's saying that combined with, let's say, the $7,000 or $8,000 that you do get, if you work a little bit, you can't make more than $12,000 total. And how are you supposed to be a content creator paying your rent, your health insurance, your medication, your phone bill, and then buying a light setup and like all other stuff? Like, it's just not possible. So that's why there's so few people at the level ready when people want to hire you to do content. You already have your microphone and your camera and your lighting and your clothes and your makeup. Like, this is really hard. And then they've changed the way that tax claims work here. So if you're disabled, you can't even claim the thing you bought for your work on your taxes because it's like, well, you're not supposed to be working anyway. Like, if you have a sufficient amount of work done that year, even if you're below the cash threshold, they can still take away your health care and then you're left with nothing. So that's why I'm just like, people have no idea. If you're a disabled creator, you are playing life on hard mode all the time, and then they want to make you feel bad for playing the game on easy when you're literally just trying to make it like, oh my God.
Like,
Sorry,
oh my God, there's
there, but like,
you're all good.
It's what we're going through.
It's the truth. That there's so many reasons why I don't go out and like yeah, I'm very open within like on Twitch and everything about being autistic, but I don't go out and like if I'm in a job interview and I say I'm autistic, automatically, immediately they're like, yeah, no, not booking her, not hiring her at all. She's going to be a liability. She's going to cause us so many issues. So it's either I lie about my disability and suffer because I'm not getting the support that I need, or I talk about it and get denied everything.
Right.
Like it's a lose-lose situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really a privilege to people say, oh, because your disability is invisible, it's a privilege that you can mask well enough. And you can hide your symptoms, you can hide your pain, you can hide your inability to process the sounds that people are saying around you. Because I'm also hard of hearing. So I've been at like previous front facing like hotel jobs just going, I don't know what they're saying. And like it's not a privilege to have to struggle without accommodations because you will not be able to get the job if you tell them you need the accommodations.
People don't understand how much effort we have to put into mask. Like, I regularly have to sit down with things before knowing that I'm going to mask for a while. I have to sit down and I have to literally, I go through full fidget moments because I'm like, I have to get the autism out before I'm talking to people. And that's why I talk a lot with my hands. It's because I need to fidget with things. So I'm like, air. Let's fidget with air.
Yeah, me personally right now, I went to Full Sail University. Shout outs to my peoples. Very cool school, very cool entertainment.
Yes.
But I got student loan forgiveness. I had $10,000 left in student loans. I am in the process of waiting for that forgiveness to finish. So technically, I am not allowed to get a job until September of 2022. So basically, I'm on
God.
SSI, chilling. If y'all want to donate to my Twitch, that's perfectly fine because there's nothing they can say about that. Those are donations.
100%.
They're not going to clock me for
Command
any
reps.
reason.
Command reps for reparations. Once again, if y'all have not tipped these creators, feel free to go to their personal pages through the Command panelists and support them in that way. Pay up. Come on.
But yeah, definitely. It's been an interesting experience going through all that. Like, even I get mail from the loan operator's office all the time telling us, the poverty guideline has changed. The poverty guideline in Georgia right now for a house of two, which is the line I'm not allowed to pass, and the money that I make is $17,000 a year. Like, that's crazy.
That's not enough to live off nowhere.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, that ain't it.
Yum. So like it's just been interesting living in that weird limbo. If you will, for sure.
I can imagine. Jai, you were talking
like
about
nobody really talks about the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Jai, you were talking about. You mentioned you were the one who brought up, being someone who's also low income. While we're on this subject of work and finances and what y'all deal with on a day-to-day basis, what can you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, it's a struggle. Partly because I am a college student. I almost had to drop out at one point because I just didn't have the finances to pay for school. And then when you're on things, because I'm on SSI, so when you're on things like SSI, and I'm also in California, so when you have like Medi-Cal and stuff like that, it makes it very hard to just like live your life. And they don't realize that SSI isn't a living wage. Like, I don't get enough to be able to like live my best life and feel like comfortable. I barely can like pay a bill without like having to like struggle to figure out how you're gonna pay the other one. It's like it's so bad, and it's partly because just like people that aren't within our communities don't understand the struggles that like people with disabilities go through. It's like we have other things that outside of our disability that we need to like attend to. Like, it shouldn't have been a conversation between like, do I need to drop out of school or do I need to like basically drop out of SSI because I couldn't. I needed to also work to like figure everything out. And that's like a big thing also, where it's like you can't have over $2,000 in your bank account at one time. And it's like that's not cool because I can't even live off of $2,000, let alone like. So it's all over the place. It's not okay.
Yeah. it's clearly systemic. Like there are systems in place like to keep y'all in like a specific range. Like, and I don't know. It's oh gosh, I lost my train of thought. It'll come back.
I
Actually,
mean,
Nate, before Nate.
I say it all the time. The system is not broken. It's working the exact way it was designed to.
Exactly.
And that's why we need to completely break down the system and rebuild it in a whole
Yeah.
different way. You
And
can't
things
change what's there.
things really are. From what y'all are telling me, things really do seem to be set up to sort of look at you as only your disability. It doesn't
Right.
factor in the many sides of who we are as people, who y'all are as people. Like what Dynamic was saying about being able to be a content creator. I mean, we all know this. Being able to be a content creator and do it successfully, it is not a free job. It is not a free vocation, you know. And it's really it seems like these systems are not set up for content creators or people in many professions to be able to sustain themselves independently. So I guess
Yeah, I no
where
one
do we
really
go
talks
from
about
here?
the anxiety you go through on top of your. Oh, I did it again.
What
I
happened?
promised I was going to segue into content creation at the end of that conversation, because no one really talks about the anxiety that you go through while being disabled and being low income and constantly stressing out about how you're going to cover like your livelihood while also having to stay upbeat and continue making the content that is going to help you pay your bills theoretically. And so it's like you want to be able to escape into the games that you're playing and the content that you're making. But when we encounter people being ableist and disrespectful and racist and misogynistic and homophobic and transphobic in those spaces, it's like it makes you want to fight even harder to make the spaces that we occupy a positive like reinforcement of who we are, because otherwise there's nowhere for us to go. We can't retreat into our everyday lives because everyday lives are ableist and nonsense, and we want to make sure that our gaming spaces are good. So I want us to talk about like positive ways that we can build up our community so that we have a place to escape that's not only going to be like a mental break from like the everyday nonsense, but also it's going to sustain us and help us rebuild the community so that we can stay alive out here.
Yeah. How do y'all how do y'all I'll say we for myself and other people in chat as allies to folks with disabilities, and how do y'all as folks with disabilities how can we do things to cultivate a community that is safe, that is supportive, that is understanding, so that we can build these platforms out?
I mean, for me, with a lot of that goes back into a lot of breaking down other systems of oppression, which is just education. Like, a lot of us as children, if you're an able-bodied child, you're taught, like, if you see a disabled person in the store, no, don't go over there. Don't ask them questions. That's rude. I love when people come into my chat and ask me questions. Like, if they want to know about my CP, they want to know what my issues are, why I have to do such and such, or why such and such things happens when this happens to me on stream, then yeah, I'm going to tell them. Because the more they know, the more they get used to it, the less it gets stigmatized in their daily lives, you know?
Absolutely.
So it all starts there for me.
Really quick follow-up to that, I guess, how do you navigate because I think I experienced this with just blackness and queerness. I'm somebody who is open to education, but there's a line. There's a line with how people approach, how people sort of lean on that information. How do you draw that line between education and like coddling, I guess?
I mean, for me, in terms of like coddling people, I've never like really had to deal with that except for in terms of when I'm talking to a child where they'll be like, "Oh, do you get sad about whatever, whatever?" And I'll have to be like, "Oh, no, because this is how I live normally." But when it's an adult, it's just like, "No, you don't need to be sad for me. There's no reason for you to be sad. Why are you sad? That sounds like a you issue." There really is no coddling when it comes to
No.
that. So
And coddling wasn't the word, but it was
yeah,
the difference between education and sometimes people
yeah.
overstep with how they ask these questions or how they come at folks with potentially good intention.
Yeah, for me, I'd rather them go ahead and overstep and me correct them instead of going to the wrong disabled person and saying something. Because I'm that nice person. If you do it to me once, not on purpose, I will correct you. Don't come at me again on a second basis, though. We won't.
There will
Exactly
be
that.
some dynamic reactions.
There will be
And
some
another
dynamic
thing.
reactions, absolutely.
And another thing, if you're
Free to use
being,
that.
if you're asking the question, if you're like overstep, like this is also to someone, like to anyone who would, like this is to the Karens out there. I'm looking at
Listen
you,
up.
Karen. Hang on a second, 60. You know what I'm doing right
This is the
now.
moment.
You
This is
know
the moment.
exactly what I'm doing right now. It
Do
is
it.
time.
Time to
Where is it?
conduct business.
Wait, one second. One second. One sec.
We
There
weren't
we go.
ready. Nikki's taking the panel.
To the Karens that have the nerve and the audacity to come to us and be like, okay, but like fully overstep, and then when we tell them that they're overstepping, that they go and throw a fit. This is, you're asking us, you're coming to us. We should be the ones throwing a fit here, not you. So sit down, take a step back, Karen, because
This ain't your show. Nikki Stones is driving this
exactly.
train.
Choo choo.
Thank you for that, Nikki. No, that's
Sorry, I had to. I know you wanted me to.
no, it needs to happen at some point. Well done. I love it. Yeah, I think that's, and it's really, it sounds like that clear communication, calling shit out as it comes up. I think that is, I love that. Jaya, what about you and your community? What do you do, or what do you think that you want to see people do?
So people asking very like inappropriate questions and like overstepping boundaries was a big thing when I first started my platform. And the thing is, I didn't know how to go about it all when I first started. So I would get some very inappropriate questions and I would answer them, but I would be like frustrated in the process. And it was a learning moment for me to think to myself, like, you don't owe able bodied people anything. You don't owe them an explanation. Like, we have Google nowadays. Like, if I give you like one step, you need to go and take more steps. Like, it's not up to me to hold your hand and be like, well, this is this and this is that. Like, we have the resources nowadays for you to do your own research. Like, I'm not Google. Like, we have websites and people, and not people, but like, yeah, websites to guide you through all of this. And then if you need clarification, then yeah, come to me and be like, hey, what did they mean when they said this or that? But I'm not going to hold your hand every step of the way. I need to hold my own hand. I have things that I need to do, not care about you in the process of you trying to figure out how not to be ableist.
It's absolutely true.
Right.
Like, y'all got shit to do for yourselves, and so much of allyship, I think, it gets compromised because people are unwilling to, like, we should be students for our entire lives, especially, people, especially folks that are less marginalized. You shouldn't just stop being a student just because you're out of school. So research, hit that Google. Jay, did you have more that you wanted to add to this about things that communities and folks can do to create the spaces that allow
Yeah,
you
for sure.
as creators to build?
So I mentioned earlier that I'm a consultant. What I do is called sensitivity reading, or like just contributing editing by reading something that is written by, let's say, an able-bodied person that features disabled characters, and they want to make sure that they're portrayed correctly because they're beginning to understand through reading many blog posts by disabled people that writing a character that is disabled with a poor representation can contribute to negative stereotypes. That is what makes up how society treats disabled people in real life. Well, oh, I saw Rain Man, I know what autism is, or like that kind of stuff is just like super unhealthy, and it causes people to infantilize disabled people. It causes them to like diminish us and to demean us and to dehumanize us. And so in my job, I've sometimes have gotten like work that was written where the disabled character was villainized purely because they're disabled. I'm like, no, you got to rewrite this. You're not we're not doing this anymore. If someone has a limb difference, someone has a facial difference, if someone has cerebral palsy or MS or anything any disability, I don't care what it is, that's not going to be their sole reason for villainy, because in real life, disabled people are the ones who are the most likely to be victimized because they're disabled, not out here being serial killers. You've got to be kidding me. Like, I was so mad. Woo, I promise I was professional, because you know how the tone policing is. You're not allowed to be an angry Black woman, even though anger is a valid response to provocation, and to be Black in America is to be consistently provoked. So your anger is valid.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility, unfortunately, to direct our anger in constructive ways so that we can use it as a tool to dismantle the patriarchy. That's it.
Yeah.
Do you know
it
what?
takes nothing for a Black person to be labeled aggressive. You know, like, it's ridiculous.
Elliot with 3Ks already said it. You know the tea there. But one thing I do want to say is I just think it's hilarious how so many people paint disabled people as these villains. You think I have the spoons to get up, have a shower, go through my normal day, and then murder someone as well? No, I don't. I'm sorry, no spoons there, love.
I have no more spoons.
Absolutely not.
That you think I'm
Absolutely not. No.
No, it's so. And
the murder weapon was in her wheelchair all along. There's no storage in here.
I think about media and
I don't got 4-wheel drive. Am I running over?
Not 4-wheel drive. It's wild too, because I think that the media takes like the most liberties when it comes to portraying folks with disabilities, because it, like, I feel like the disabled community, more than any other community that is portrayed, like, that carries over in real life. We grow up with, like, what many of y'all have said. We're taught to, stay away, or, just we're taught to be especially cautious around folks that have disabilities. And with that already being ingrained in us, once it started being made clear to me the impact of representation of disabled folks in the media, it completely changed my view of a lot of movies, television shows, characters that I had previously not thought twice about. So the film and television and media industry needs a lot of looking at. So thank you, Jeff.
And video games. Don't forget.
Yes. Oh yeah, we're on Twitch. Yeah, video games. Remember that?
No problem.
But yeah. So I guess let's talk about media. I was
going to say, there's also some video games that have hired me because they had disabled characters. Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, this game, like, oh, we don't have disabled characters. I'm like, y'all have so many amputees in this game. You have so many characters with a limb difference, and you're not even thinking about how they're portrayed. Go through your dialogue, go through your codex, decolonize your brain, remove every single reference to wheelchair bound or anything that you have said that doesn't accurately describe the character, and you're already doing a bigger step than you were before. And I love how, in this case, this was information I gave them in the email before they hired me, and they're like, well, we kind of have to hire her now. She done already fixed half the problem.
She seems like the person who will come for our necks if we don't give her some coin.
I'll be at the front of the pitchforks in the mob, with the 4-wheel drive.
So continuing with our talk about me, I'm trying to drive the boat.
Well, not the 4-wheel drive. I can't. It's just
we're going back to deceased. The game. No. So I just saw somebody mention Sia in the chat. So let's while we're talking about media, let's feel free to go in. But let's talk about not only. I mean, we know the Sia story about the music video, and were they playing someone with autism?
Movie.
So it was a movie. It was a whole movie about an autistic person, and they got a neurotypical person to play the child, and instead of an autistic person. And when Sia was questioned on it, she was like, I don't know. I think it's just like an autistic person might not be able to portray it well. And I'm like, the portrayal of us. Who else are you going to get to do it than us. It's like asking a white person to play a black person. It's like asking a straight person to play a trans, like a cisgender person to play a trans person. It makes
I'm gonna
no
stop
sense.
you. We don't need to
So I'm gonna
compare.
go
We
off.
need to compare race here
Gonna go
because
off.
that demeans it. No.
Mm.
And they caught Sia in multiple lies. There are screenshots everywhere because first Sia said that they didn't want to harm an autistic person. Then Sia said, oh, we had one, but it didn't work out with her. But the truth was that Sia wanted to have a specific type of autistic portrayal that didn't exist in reality because it was a stereotype. So what she wanted was to have someone be her idea of what autism is, and it was so bad. And the worst part, the child in question that did this job said on record, there's proof of this on Twitter, I'm scared people are gonna be upset at me because I don't want to be disrespectful. And Sia's like, oh, don't worry, I'll protect you. And you just threw this poor kid to the wolves, and now the poor thing is out here in this whole movie ashamed because she didn't actually want to do this, but Sia kept telling her it was gonna be okay because she's the adult here. And I'm like, how could you do this to her? I feel bad for the person in question. What's her name? Maddie Ziegler.
Maddie Ziegler.
Maddie
Sia is
Ziegler.
obsessed with this person and has had them in music videos and stuff. And like, yeah, oh, that poor kid. I feel bad for her because I'm like, she didn't even want to do this. Like, I don't understand. Like, why would you push this stereotype so hard when you could have actually made an award-winning movie and had an actual autistic actress? There were so many in the comments going, oh, we exist. We're out here. You could have hired any one of us. I don't understand why you did this, because what she wanted was the stereotype of autism, not a real autistic person. It's like how they want you for your culture, but not for who you actually are. It's really disgusting.
And it's that colonial, it's that colonization mentality of not only am I going to do this, but I'm going to defend it because I had good intentions, or I should be able to do this because it's my art. And when your art touches the lives of real people, or like when it involves, people, when it involves the experiences that real people share, then, I mean, make your art, but be ready for the storm that comes after it. Because we live in that age now. But I guess feel free to speak more on the Sia specifically if you want, but also let's talk about media in general.
I did want to say one more thing about that. Yeah. So, yeah, we're gonna branch out from that. But my big complaint here, we do not need to compare the dehumanization of autistic people to the dehumanization of Black people, because in this situation, Black dehumanization comes from the commodifying of Black flesh as labor, as being the actual value of money in this country. And with autism, it is based in eugenics and the idea that you are less than because you process information differently than other people. And they are both equally wrong, equally disrespectful, but I don't want to be that person who diminishes the struggle of someone else by conflating the two. So I would never say, oh, it's as if somebody did it about Black men. No, it is exactly what it is. Autistic people have the right to exist. They have the right to live and to thrive and to be represented correctly, regardless of any other intersection that may be. And I just think it's really disrespectful for people to try to make that kind of comparison in ways that diminish the struggle that's actually happening. Because people are trying to say, oh, I'm going to get, my pregnancy scan and make sure I'm autistic. Like, that's murder. It's just I'm so over people not really getting the difference in the type of oppression that's happening. Because the accusation that, oh, it's not that bad because, oh, I can't even tell this person's autistic. I'm like, you're judging them based on how you perceive them, not the struggle they have to go through every day masking just so that you treat them like a regular person. Ooh, sometimes I want to fight people.
That's real. And
it's so hard to be professional when you're in a work meeting and someone's talking about that stuff.
And it's important to have these conversations about how, even because I mean, like, I'm thinking about people like myself. Like, I'm someone who would also like maybe see some parallels between my experience as a Black person and someone's experience at being disabled. And I might, I think a lot of us have that default desire to relate. And I think that, that can have good intention, but like you said, it sort of erases the source of the oppression. And if we're going to work on the oppression, we have to be knowledgeable of the source and attack the source. So thank you for bringing that up. Absolutely. Dynamic?
One of the games that I played.
No problem. I think it comes from a place of respect and wanting to
We're on a little bit of a delay, but you're all good. Go ahead and finish that thought, Jay, and we'll go back to Dynamic.
No, I was just saying that I think that you're right. It comes from a place of respect and wanting to sympathize. but as long as we're paying attention to the actual issue and not just conflating it, that's all I really want. People just to know what you're talking about and not necessarily diminishing it by comparing it to something else. But go ahead. I'm sorry, Dynamic. Continue.
You're good. One of the first games that I played before I started streaming, just offline by myself, was Life is Strange, and there was some disability representation there. Uh, one of the characters ended up being disabled. I'm not gonna say who because spoilers. I firmly believe that, even though the game is old. But she ended up just being like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I'm just gonna. She was like asking her friend to kill her, and I was just like, okay, this is a problem.
Oh wow!
I was like I went from one episode being so happy, oh my god, there's a character in the wheelchair, okay, to like next episode being like, alrighty then, we are. I feel like
that's horrible.
So much to unpack.
Ableist gone terribly wrong.
Yeah, because like when people look at us, they automatically think, "Oh, she must be so depressed. It must be so hard for her to get out of bed in the morning." It's just like, no, I roll out of bed just like you. It just takes me like 2 minutes longer. Okay, I swear. Chill out. But
once again, we're all people.
But yeah, to have it be taken to that extreme was just like, okay, whoa, it's like that for some people, not to discount their experience, but it's not like that for everybody. Like, depression with a disability is very real for some people, but it's just like, they don't need to see those kinds of images reflected back to them. They need to see people who they can aspire to be and look up to. Like, that
mechanisms for drama.
That whole problem. Yeah, exactly.
That's so wild to me because again, it does not consider the people that actually live with disabilities, because like how incredibly insensitive and triggering. I had no idea that happened in that game. Jai, do you have any media, TV, film, video game?
I don't want to play that now.
That you wanted to share?
So for me, a big part of when I see like the best representation of people with disabilities, it's usually media like directed or written by people with disabilities. And for me, especially being that I'm going into the film industry, hopefully, it's about making sure that we're putting people with disabilities in the position to be directors, to be screenwriters, to be producers, so we can get our stories out there. And for me, a big show that I'm watching right now, and it's kind of old, but not that old, it's called Speechless. It was on ABC, I think, and I just heard about it, which like kind of makes me upset because it kind of like speaks to like the fact that shows and movies that have disabled representation, they're not as boosted as like other content, but that like companies and production companies can sit and be like, well, we do have this representation, and it's like, well, you didn't boost it as much as you would any other content. Like me being somebody with cerebral palsy, how wouldn't I know about this? Like, this is something that I had to like do deep research on within like the internet to like find, and it's like, it's upsetting because we deserve, like, going back to representation, we deserve that representation, because you start to internalize like that ableism, and you start to feel like you're not good enough, and like it's and have that depression and things like that because you're living in a world that isn't representing you correctly and like truly. So it's like, yeah.
Goes back to that question Jay asked earlier of where do you go, you know?
Right.
But it's cool to see that you're getting into the film industry, Jaya. I love that. So you're going to be able to get in there and make some fabulous content that is well represented for the people. Yes. Okay. So we appreciate shows like Speechless. We have heard about some good games, some games that also get it wrong. I guess what is your why don't we take a moment to talk about what you all do on your platforms? And we spoke about it a little bit at the beginning, but we're not ending yet. We do still have some time. But let's take a moment to actually talk about what you all do, where people can find you, and how Black History Month has been. And let's throw it back to Dynamic.
I normally on my platforms on YouTube, I mainly do reactions, reviews, stuff like that. Steven Universe, Marvel, DC. I am a huge nerd and a
Come
weeb.
on.
So,
Who's
but
your favorite
on
crystal
you,
gem?
oh God, it's a tie between amethyst and ruby and sapphire, garnet.
Work.
It's a tie.
Work.
Yes.
Okay.
Amethyst is so funny.
But yeah, on YouTube we do some of that. I eventually want to go to cons and start doing interviews with cool people and stuff. That would be really dope. On Twitch,
Cool.
I'm a part of Sisters of the Fog. Shout out to the
Yes.
Sisters of the Fog. We're Black. We love Dead by Daylight. We talk about Black issues, Black Lives Matter, all that. I'm also part of Radically Kind Gamers. Shout out to my Radically Kind Gamers people. Zombie Kills is our fearless leader.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of cool streamers there. Also, my fellow disabled streamer who worked on The Last of Us, Brandon. He's on that team as well. But
Yeah.
Love
yeah, we
Brandon.
talk
Brandon's been on a
about
couple of our panels.
yeah, we talk about accessibility on my channels, and just overall removing kind of the social stigma that's around disability and CP in general, and hopefully I'll find more people with CP through my platforms too. There's like 2.9 million of us in the world, but somehow it's super hard for all of us to find each other. So yeah, Black History Month has surprisingly been very busy for me. I'm still a baby streamer. I've only been streaming for like 6 months. So when people hit me up in the DMs this month, I would
Wow, good for you.
Okay.
That's a lot of progress for 6 months.
Thank you.
You're like, just
Good.
breathe. We're gonna get through this month. We're booked.
Yup, we're just gonna get through this month. Apparently, I'm busy. I'm gonna be streaming for PC Gamer on their channel next week on Thursday as well. So
Love it.
yeah, that's what I'm up to.
So glad we got your dynamic reactions. Also, thank you to Alien King Luca Me, who pointed me in your direction. So very happy to have you. Let's jump on over to Jaya Day. Tell us about what you're doing on TikTok, elsewhere. What do you like?
So TikTok mostly is my activism for sure. And also I don't like to think of myself as like a comedian, but people like me for my comedy too, apparently.
Yes.
I just like to call it I'm awkward, and people find that funny because I'm just awkward and not like so for sure on TikTok, like activism. Sometimes I might do like film based stuff, so I might talk about like a new movie that came out or whatever. And then YouTube, I'm still trying to develop that because I want that to be more like film of me doing like documentaries. Right now I'm working on in like pre-production for like a documentary that I want to do called like Capable, where it's like showing that disabled people do have lives outside of like being disabled, like
Yes.
a lot of people think. So that's the big thing that I'm working on right now. And then I have a couple other things that I got going on that I can't really talk about, unfortunately, but
NDAs.
So it's been a really exciting time. So, and then I go to school and stuff like that. So it's been really hectic in my life lately. So yeah.
Yes, and that is why we're talking about more things, because folks with disabilities are more than the disabilities. They have so many things going on. Be sure to follow all these incredible creators on all platforms. Nikki Stones, what do you got going on, my love?
So my main thing would be Twitch at the moment, considering happy 1 year anniversary too. Oh, it'll just be 2 weeks before this, just to flatten the curve a little bit.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes.
Listen, the clubs have been closed so long that I don't even know what a stage is anymore. But my main thing is on Twitch. I stream 3 days a week. every 2 weeks we do tarot. Every Thursday we do Pokemon. We just do we're just nerds over my channel. It's just fun. It's chaotic. I have my
Goat Simulator.
Goat Simulator. That was fun. The Train Simulator
game.
from time to time.
Game.
Listen. And on occasion, we're actually not on occasion. We're actually bringing it back. We're bringing back Blacklight Drag Show, which is my drag show, which was happening in person, and it's now moved online. So that's literally this day, next month. We've got an amazing bunch of creators, including, but not limited to, our own 60BB. I'm a Betty Black is going to be on this show, so make sure to come on by for that. And then otherwise, I'm just getting through life with college and trying to keep my head above water.
You got this. You got this. Jai is here with you. We got some students in the building. And Jay Justice, Queen of Busyness. What do you have going on?
Oh, God.
We have a whole
too
panel
much.
for Jay to just
Okay.
tell us their schedule.
Oh God. Okay. So on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Demanda Martini, drag queen extraordinaire, Chanteuse of Southern Maryland, and I will be doing our panel called Rusty Gay Ass Art, where we sketch superheroes and sci-fi and fantasy and all kinds of fun stuff. I'm just getting into doing digital art for the first time, which is really exciting for me. So if you want to watch two gay people art for a while, that's fun.
They
I
just
also
posted
do
some
cosplay
beautiful
streams. So
digital
you can see me
art.
build
So good.
Yeah, I also am making some cosplay armor. So I'm going to be building Mandalorian from the show Mandalorian, but I'm going to be specifically doing Bo-Katan because I want to be the leader of Mandalore. I'm also playing some Battlefront 2 because I'm finally getting into PC gaming after being sponsored by Intel. So I'm an Intel gaming partner. So I'm really excited to break in this beautiful, shiny new PC with some games. So that'll be cool. So my schedule is going to be Tuesday art, Wednesday cosplay, Thursday gaming, all around the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Coast on my Twitch channel. And I also post various art stuff on Patreon. So if you want to see some more behind the scenes art stuff, I'm over there. On Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you can catch pictures of my loud cat who's around here somewhere.
There were our 6 panelists.
Yes, exactly. Our 6th panelist is Coco. Yeah, and what's not on stream but is definitely happening, I'm doing ongoing consulting with different video game companies, telling them that we need to have captions. They need to be contrasted so we can see them against any kind of background. They need to be size, editable. We need to have more colorblind options. We definitely need to do as many accommodations as possible, and explaining that to the developers in the way of, it's not that that you guys are like bad people. It's not a character flaw. It's the fact that you're able-bodied and you don't know that by providing more forms of input for your video game, you're actually widening your audience by like millions. Like there are so many games that I love that my friends who have more visual impairment than I have can't play, and I'm like, like this is something that people need to understand. So I'm really happy to be doing the jobs that I do, and I'm really excited to be able to like help more people get into video games, help more people get into, like, D&D is a great example, because D&D is a great way to escape into something, requires almost no money, just your mind and your ideas, and that's it. But because the ableism is so implicit, people just are fighting against the idea that you could have a combat wheelchair. But guess what? We do have one, and you're not getting rid of it. You can't stop us. Our wheelchairs are in your dungeons, and we're not leaving. We getting the treasure. We in here, okay?
Reclaiming my dungeon. Reclaiming my dragon.
My dungeon.
Listen, here's the question though.
That's
Here's the
right.
question though. Are they 4-wheel drive?
Oh my panel's over. I'm going home.
If you roll a 20,
wait.
if you roll a 20, it might be. It might be. But yeah, follow Mustang's art on Twitter, because she is the creator of the combat wheelchair for 5e, and you can play it in any homebrew. There's tons of different options. We can talk to her about the 4-wheel drive. But yeah, I'm just really proud of a disabled person who, we both work on the same video game. We both worked on Idle Champions of Forgotten Realms, the licensed D&D game, and I helped with a lot of the character design for some of the disabled characters, and she definitely helped with the new wheelchair they're using for the characters. It's so good seeing other people in the community succeed. Thank you for sharing your Twitter. Yes. So yeah, I really want people to be able to enjoy this, and everyone should be able to enjoy video games and tabletop games. This is not like a dynamic idea, sorry, but like it really shouldn't feel like it's such a huge imposition. we just want to make an inclusive game space for everybody, and I'm just really, really proud of the work that everyone is doing to like make that space happen.
I'm proud of you. Like, that's so incredible. And to hear somebody say in 2021, I love what I do. Like, wow. Remarkable. I love like
sadness is that, you know, it's in a capitalist hellscape where no matter how hard I work, it's either going to be not enough to pay for medication or it's going to be too much and then you lose disability in your health insurance. But we can only do so much. So we're definitely talking to representatives about like changing everything. But in the space that we have, we're at least doing the best that we can, you know?
And even just we've talked about this at every panel that me, you, and Nikki have done together, but even from a capitalist perspective, make your games accessible. More money. What are you talking about? Like,
word, don't y'all like money? Like, I don't understand.
You want this? Like, if we can put this in language for just the bare minimum of businesses, more accessibility, more money. Done. Like, what are we talking about?
Lose the racist dollars if we cater to the coloreds. I swear, this is the kind of stuff I'm fighting against all the time because they think that if they make the audience bigger, they're gonna lose the like. We have to keep the core happy. I'm like, the core is smaller and more rotten than you think, buddy.
It's not like they're not gonna pull up to the Capitol.
Diversity sells. No, please. I'm so tired. Like, come on.
You think gamers are gonna? You think gamers are really gonna be the one? You think white gamers are gonna be the ones to stop playing Overwatch just because you make it more accessible? Please, it's where they go to be toxic. You're just giving them more people to be toxic too. Make your games accessible.
These people, the game is their entire identity. They're not gonna shirk it because you let black people play too. Like it's like you gotta really think about what you're doing as a developer. If you're fighting so hard to keep someone who is that prejudiced, like what are you saying about your company? Like what kind of image are you putting out there? Like
exactly.
Now, and if
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, if your priorities are making sure you keep one person and kick out 10 people, like you kind of wanna reevaluate there.
Bad business model sounds like. But so in talking about, we talked about how, you know, people often equate folks with this, or what's the term? People forget that there are many facets to folks in general, but especially with folks with disabilities. So what are some things that y'all do? You know, we've talked about, you know, different projects that we're doing. We've talked about, you know, BS that we deal with on the day-to-day basis. How do y'all practice self-care? How do you keep yourselves looking as good as you all look today? And you know, how do you take care of yourself?
Filter.
It's called Facetune.
Wet and Wild. Tree 99.
Oh my god. Not Wet and Wild.
Some nail polish.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
But yes, yes. How do we self-care in addition to using Wet Wild products?
I mean, for me, it's ice cream and binge watching TV shows.
Ice cream and TV. Yes.
Ice cream and TV.
What's your best ice cream and television show combo?
Oh gosh, I really
This is good. This is
obsessed with the Haagen-Dazs like chocolate and vanilla. Like there's chocolate on the outside and then there's like vanilla on the and you dip it. Like binge watching like some good anime on Netflix. I'm really into Attack on Titan. The final season's out. I'm really into Attack on Titan right now.
You like that crypto? Though. You like that morbid.
It's so
anime.
cute.
I like it morbid.
Dynamic
because it's like they out here dying.
I choose violence.
I choose violence and anti-fascism. We love
Let's do it.
That's fair.
I love it. So Haagen-Dazs and Attack on Titan for dynamic reactions. Jaya, what's your how do you self-care?
I rarely have time for myself, and that's a really sad thing to say. I just don't. I'm either in school doing something for TikTok or like sleep. So that's my self-care, sleep. Because
I'll take it.
The big thing of like recharging too, because like we talked about spoons earlier, but like I'm so out of spoons by like the middle of the day that it's like I just rather sleep than like sit and like watch TV at this point. And also just like with the whole pandemic, I'm just like over everything. I'm over like every single TV show. I'm over reading. I'm just over it. I'd rather just like sit and like look at a wall. Like I am so tired of just like this. So it's a lot of
Thank you.
sleep.
I feel the same.
It's a lot of sleep. So yeah.
I love that. I love that. And I'm just gonna say I'm gonna be your parent for a moment and just say, please make time for yourself. Okay, I'll take the parent hat off. Not this hat. I haven't changed. Nikki,
We'll go
how do
on to
you
that
self
hat.
care, my love?
I'm gonna be real with you. I've been neglecting myself and neglecting self caring for a lot of quarantine. And I feel like I know like this, I'm gonna touch on it, but because I just want to say to everyone out there, quarantine is tough. And if you need to run that dishwasher twice, run that dishwasher twice. And all I'm gonna shut it, sexy, shut it. But if you like one thing, congratulate yourself for the little things that you do. Like it's taken so long, and that self-care of me being like, I got up today and I had a shower. That is self-caring to me. Being like, I actually put effort into myself. And if you just look at the things that you do, even getting up is such an achievement. And I feel like recently self-caring for me has just been reminding myself, hey, you got up today. You're still
Yes.
alive. You're still here. And that is,
I love that.
yeah.
That's a great because in a world where, so many of us have terrible self-talk, guilty. We have to in a quarantine when we don't necessarily have our entire support systems right at our arm's reach or whatever to be able to tell us, hey, you're doing okay. We have to be that support for ourselves a lot of the time, and not always put the pressure on to overexert, but just to say, hey, you showed up. No, you didn't get in drag today, but you put that beanie on and you washed your face. So you know what? Well done. That was
And
me
it's a
talking to
cute
myself.
face too. So cute.
It's
Yeah.
an adorable face.
Oh, and may I just add a
Happy
very
birthday.
quick shout out? May I just add a very quick shout out to our own Hobo House's self-care show coming up soon?
Yes. Yes, Hobo House is a member of Team Stream Queens. They have been on some of these panels with us, our disability panels. Next, I know they are probably like, please do not censor me right now. But go check out, be sure on March 6th that you're checking out twitch.tv/Hobo House. Let's get a shout out for them in the chat. They're doing a self-care show next Saturday. So next Saturday, we'll see you there. Jay.
Next Saturday is
How do
March,
you-
though? It's March? It's March already? Next Saturday?
Monday
Oh,
is
no.
March.
March.
The way that I'm like, oh no, Black History Month is like, I'm excited Black History Month is about to be over for me, but I'm also mad about social media because I'm about to see a whole lot of people show their ass in the complete lack of Black content that they are sharing. But
Black History 365. I'm done.
that's
No.
it.
Period.
Black History Life. I don't know what to tell you. It's not over. March is also Women's History Month, so y'all better be showing love to Black women who saved this country and continue to.
Deserves it
Anyway.
or not.
Wait. Honestly, wait. We didn't get to Jay's self-care. Let's do that.
And-
I mean, if
Okay,
we get to
so-
that.
We're just gonna talk about it for a little bit. How much trauma we've all been enduring, the violence of having to exist in these spaces and having to deal with the anxiety and depression of being in the pandemic, while all having to deal with the anti-blackness, while also having to deal with the ableism and the misogyny and the homophobia and the transphobia, and not even feeling safe to be out in the spaces that we're already trying to be in.
Mhm.
Like whatever aspect of yourself that you can mask, you mask in it because you're just so like a tightly wound ball of mental illness inside the disabled body at the same time. It's just so much. And so all of the shows that I normally would have watched are giving me too many triggers. I can't really enjoy things that have too much violence in them because then I get really sad. And so it's been, and that's usually my escape, just been watching whatever. But we'll give a little shout out to one show that, while it's not perfect and has had some things where I've been like, I'm gonna write to the editor about this. Like, what we call it in our house is the gay drama firefighter show is what we call it.
Oh my!
We
Is that the
started
Angela
talking about
Bassett show?
911, and then when we
Yeah.
got to the
Oh my
Texas one,
god.
yep. But then they
I
have
watched
the
that too.
spinoff, so we called it the gay yeehaw firefighters. The gay yeehaw firefighters is the best one because that one has the black trans representation.
Not the yeehaw.
Listen, we love the gay yeehaw firefighters in this house. It's so good.
I'm just trying to eat my fries.
A bunch of the characters are gay, POC. I think they only got like 3 white dudes on the whole show. I'm like, bless. Like, it's Texas. It needs to be Hispanic out here. Like, it needs to be Afro-Latinx everywhere because it's Texas. So I really like that part of it. And the fact that they have the trans representation is really great. A trans actor playing a trans character and doing a wonderful job. Beautiful black man. I love him so much. Right? It's so good. And then at least you know it's the kind of show where they're going to try their best. And if something happens that's bad, there's going to be aftercare for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to be okay. So we love watching that. And as for snacks, can anybody beat cheese? Just pounds of cheese. Just as much cheese as I could possibly fit onto one plate so I can go to the couch and eat the
Get
cheese.
out of my refrigerator.
Eat the cheese while watching the gay yeehaw firefighters, and then you're good. Like, that's my
That's so lovely.
Me and the cat just watching the gay firefighters. It's great.
Mine has mostly been any sort of drag content. You know, I won't say the name, but it's RuPaul's Frack Race, and oh my god, I just like watching the drag artists do drag things. What I love to is right after a stream or after I get off a Discord with somebody, I'll probably DoorDash some McDonald's chocolate chip cookies and watch something gay. Fierce. Okay, so we are in our last little stretch of the panel. So I guess let's chat a little bit about really just whatever y'all want to say. I'm actually very sad this is ending. I will say I woke up in such a state. I'm at the end of my wits this month, just energy wise, all that. But I'm talking and chatting and just engaging with folks gives me my life. So thank you all for being here and thank you all for being incredible. Let's send everybody off with, well, you know, let me not act like this is gonna really be just be done in 10 minutes. I'm thinking out loud now. I'm hanging on. We're doing this.
Just the wee music in the background intensifies. Just dude.
I almost made it. It's because I talked about making it to the end. I fucked it up. I fucked it all up.
It's okay.
So just we'll pass the floor around to everybody. Anything that you want to share with the people. It can be about you, about your experiences. It can be about something completely random. What do you want to send the people off with? And then at the very end, we'll go back and see where we can follow each other one more time.
While everybody is thinking with the Wii music in their heads, I'm going to spotlight a really great romance novel about a disabled Black girl who falls in love with a beautiful Asian American man, because Asian American men are beautiful and they never get to be seen as the romantic lead and stuff because racism is stupid. Mm-hmm. The book is called Can't Escape Love, and it's about this nerdy Black girl who's a wheelchair user who has to help this gorgeous Asian man figure out how to plot an escape room that's based around her favorite fandom. It's like a dream job, like, right? And the best part was that the writer, who is a Black woman who is not disabled, hired me because I'm a disabled, nerdy Black girl. I'm like, is this book about me? Am I like, is this an imaginary AU where I'm straight? Because normally I'd be like, ill, but I'm with this. And she was like, yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm writing this romance novel about a disabled Black girl correctly, because I want to, because it's like she did research, but like research and lived experience are two different things. So she asked me to utilize my lived experience to make sure that when she wrote about this, Black girl getting her disabled freak on, that it was right. And it was good. So I'm going to tell y'all, Can't Escape Love by Alyssa Cole. It's beautiful Black disabled representation that we have all been wanting in our lives.
Yes. And on that subject, we did just talk about self-care. And if that sounds like self-care to me.
So good. It's so good.
And we do actually have a little bit more time than I thought. So I will kick off a question for the end. What's everybody's zodiac sign?
60, you are opening up a can of worms here, and you know exactly what's gonna happen. I hate you. I hate you.
Mine is so obvious. Oh Lord.
Can y'all guess mine?
I'm going last.
Okay, hold on, I'm gonna guess. Are you a Taurus dynamic?
No.
Okay, I love Taurus. So I'm wrong there. Are you a Virgo, Jay?
Yep. Absolutely.
Jay, you just radiate Virgo energy, and I love every bit of it.
I do.
I'm gonna take one guess, so I'll come back around for the right answers. Jaya, are you an Aquarius?
Nope.
Damn.
For 2, ouch. Well, no.
Nikki,
1 for 3. 1 for 3.
Did you have? Was yours a birthday subathon, or was that a stream
That was a birthday. So that was a birthday.
That just happened. So you're. When was that? Was that you a Capricorn?
I got through Capricorn, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, work. So Jaya and Dynamic. What are y'all? I'm a Cancer. I think that's apparent. What are y'all saying?
I'm an Aries.
Oh, what a lovely. Oh, I'm glad we've had fun.
I
Me and
am
Aries
also
usually
a Cancer.
Yeah!
Yeah.
I should have guessed Cancer.
I leave. Bye.
So we have the majority. Expect drama. Expect pettiness. I
Yes.
should have known when you said that you watched Attack on Titan while eating ice cream. That's a Cancer. Do y'all subscribe to zodiacology? That's not a word.
Sometimes it depends.
With myself, I'm like
very much so.
Very for Nikki, sometimes for Dynamic. Jai's thinking about it.
Yeah. It depends because I don't feel like I radiate Aries energy. I'm also like on the cusp. So my birthday is March 21st. So like I'm on like the Pisces, like Aries, like whatever. So I feel like I radiate more like Pisces energy rather than like Aries.
Yeah,
that too.
I feel that. I'm assuming Jay subscribes because they knew that not only are they a Virgo,
it's
but
really
they
hard
seem
to
like a
ignore. Like most of your polycule is one sign, and you have a type, and they're all the same. I'm like, I mean, what you gonna do? The zodiac is real.
That's so funny. So I felt I feel like the world changed.
Capricorns, apparently.
You like them? You said you get along with Sagittariuses and Capricorns? I love that for you.
I think we'll be great friends, Jay. Like we'll be great friends.
I'm not to get along with
so.
Tauruses and Aquariuses. That's about it. I mean, again, I'm not subscribed to it like religiously. I'm not like, oh, you're an Aries? I don't know if we can be friends. Like, no.
Remember that one time we were in Discord?
No, I don't avoid based on it. No.
Oh, what, story time. One of my first times. So we in the Stream Queens, we like Discord. We have like a voice chat. And we all just kind of hang out from time to time. One of my first times going into the Discord, I was asking people about their zodiac signs, and 60 was like, "I'm a Cancer," and I was like, "Bye," and literally left.
We're on the exact opposite end of the. We're opposites.
No. You're opposite.
I went on a date with somebody once, and like maybe an hour. It was a great date, and like an hour in. We did the zodiac swap. Capricorn, him, Cancer, me. When I tell you the date tanked after I said I'm a Cancer, it crashed and burned. Not on my part.
Yeah.
Not on my part. But when I tell you this Capricorn said, absolutely the fuck not.
That's what we do. That's what us Capricorns do. We're just like, no, no.
Would have been mad if it wasn't so funny. I was like, well, I'm gonna go because you're clearly not into this anymore, and that's silly. So bye.
I let how people behave dictate how the relationship is going to be. And
Exactly.
I don't judge based on your zodiac, but if you mess up, I'll be like, you see, that's why you will whatever. And then
Like,
to me,
like
that's
I'll use your
funnier.
zodiac,
That's funnier.
but I won't
Yeah,
base
yeah.
anything on it.
That part.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's get a last question. Jaya, do you
Whole happy meal.
this is just like me playing Overwatch. One more round. One more round. Jaya, do you are you familiar with Pokemon?
I am
No.
so sorry. No.
Okay, then we'll just do animals. If you could be any animal, what would it be?
A turtle? But that's only because
Everything.
turtles are my favorite animal. So like
Oh,
I turtle.
What kind of turtle? Galapagos?
I'm not
A sea turtle?
sure. Yeah. A sea turtle. Let's be a sea turtle.
Or
turtle. That's so
the
cute.
Pisces. What's that Pisces? One in that water. Jay, if you could be an animal, what would it be?
I was Pokemon because I would have been like Bulbasaur.
Oh yeah, I will also accept
any
Pokemon. I know
animal?
I said the magic word. Animal or Pokemon?
Okay. Well, you know what? I guess I'd probably be a cat because why not?
Love that. Because why not?
Regular fluffy house cat. Ain't got to worry about nothing. Ain't got to pay no bills. You just take care of me and I'm good.
Are you a black cat? Oh, you said obviously. Okay,
A
wait.
sleek house dancer waiting to back your toes under the blanket.
This is a trick question. I would be a zebra, because come on, why would you not? Dynamic. What animal would you be?
Oh my gosh. I think I would enjoy being a lioness. I mean, I already have a whole lot of hair anyway. So
Well, Nala.
it just naturally fits.
Yes. Lioness. Nikki.
No, where's hiding?
Oh my god. I'd be a panther because they're very like survive by themselves. They do their own thing. Kind of
Elite.
very much like me. I'm by myself a lot of the time.
I love that for you. Not the by yourself part, unless you love that. You know what I'm saying. A panther's lit. That's so fierce. Okay, so we'll do a little quick wrap up for here at the end. Also, my Pokemon would have been a Squirtle, so shout out to Turtles. So let's one more time tell everybody where they can find you, and let's send them off with some last words. Let's start with, actually, yes, I can say we should start.
It's been a long 2 days.
We almost made it. Dynamic reactions. Let's start with you, my friend.
You guys, you can find me at Dynamic Reactions on Twitch, twitch.tv/Dynamic Reactions, or YouTube, twitch.tv, not twitch.tv, youtube.com before I get caught by YouTube /Dynamic Reactions.
Oh.
Twitter /Dynamic_React. And it's been really cool being on this panel with you guys. I hope we can do more.
Absolutely.
And yeah. If you guys have disabled people in your lives or in your families, don't be afraid to talk to them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. The stigma breaking starts with you, my friend. So, yeah.
100%. Jaya, let the people know where they can find you, and feel free to leave us with some parting words.
Y'all can find me at BBJIYA on TikTok, and then on YouTube, Jaya's Dailies. Yeah. And then on Instagram, BBJaya_. And then just remember that representation matters, and like go out and learn new things about new people.
Yeah. Fabulously said from my fellow BB. I loved when I found you on Instagram. I was like, I'm 60 BB. This is BB Jaya. Oh my god. BB. We've got 4 Bs. And I am all of them. A bitch. Nikki.
So you can find me on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at Nikki_Stones. Literally just NIKKIE_Stones. Don't forget Black Light Drag Show on the 27th of March over on my channel, which will be, keep an eye out on all my socials for information about that. Parting words. First thing I want to say is stand twice. Always and forever. And no matter what anyone ever says to you, no matter what anyone ever thinks, and no matter what the world is firing at you, what you say, what you think, who you are, and what you do is completely valid. No matter what, you are valid. You are perfect the way that you are. And I know I wish for years, I wish I had someone saying that to me. And I want to tell every single person on this panel and watching this convention right now, you are valid, you are amazing, you are perfect, and I love you just the way you are.
I love you too, Nikki.
Love you.
And the fabulous, the fun, the wonderful, the stunning Jay Justice. That Jay Justice? Yeah, that Jay Justice. let us know where we can find you.
I'm me standing behind Nikki Stones like this because that was so heartwarming and sweet. I'm also at that J Justice on all the things, so come laugh and vibe with me on stuff. I stream on Twitch. Catch me every Tuesday with Demanda Martini doing our stream Rusty Gay Ass Art, where we draw live and yell about X-Men for 3 hours a night. I'm also
That's it.
constantly working on editing video games and comic books and literature, posting hot takes on Twitch, on Twitter, I should say, and on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, all that stuff. Oh boy. And for last words, I mean, everyone has been like so uplifting and amazing. I think the most important thing for everybody to remember, on top of what everyone else has already said, which is super important and valid, is to curate your space, because you deserve to have a space where you can be yourself, and you don't owe anything anybody in terms of allowing them to have their like demeaning or like discriminating opinion. You don't owe anybody discourse. You don't owe anybody, your time or your patience when they are oppressing you. So it's not on you as a marginalized person, or even a person who, like, if you somehow are cis, straight, able-bodied, white, Christian, all those things, if someone is being negative and oppressive in your space, you don't owe them that space to talk to you. You can say, no, we're not going to have this here. You can shut them down. You can be that one person in the crowd saying, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're going to allow people to be who they are. And no matter how small you are, whether you have an audience or not, your voice matters, and you have the right to speak up.
Absolutely. So phenomenally said. And I want to, before I send another message to our fabulous panelists, two quick things for the chat. Everybody, any allies in the chat, hit that command reps. We're talking about reparations. We are collecting a tip pool for all of our panelists that have been involved. We're having it all each day of panelists. The Saturday tips will be divvied amongst the Saturday panelists. So please support. We had some very frank conversations about what these incredible folks deal with on a day-to-day basis, including, work, income, relations, life in general. Support these creators in however many ways you can, and do it now. Also,
may I add something very quickly? I would like to give a special shout out and a special thank you to our amazing moderator, Rudy Six, who has given us this opportunity to talk about our experiences, has been so good in allowing all of us to talk. We would be nowhere without you. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for having us for this.
So happy to have y'all. Y'all know I love this. This is the third. We've done 3 disability panels in 3 consecutive months. So I'm having a great time doing it. I do not know when the next one right now is going to be, but stay tuned. From one ally to a chat full of allies. Really consider the varied conversations that we've had at this panel, at our previous panels. Like Jay said, curate your spaces. I know that they were directing that towards creators and crafters of their own spaces, but I want to say that to allies, curate your spaces as well, to make sure that it is that you are thinking about accessibility, that you are thinking about folks with different experiences than you, so that you can provide a space that they don't have to come in and advocate for themselves in necessarily. They can just come in, show up as they are, and know that they are welcome. So really consider those things as you create your own content, and maybe we can learn something along the way. Do your research, do your homework, ask questions appropriately, and drink your damn water. All right. Stay hydrated.
Run the dishwasher twice.
Run the dishwasher twice. Call your train driver. Pick up some Haagen-Dazs. Go pet a turtle, and live long and prosper. I've been your moderator, Rudy Six, 60BB. I'm a Betty Black, because everywhere I go, people say, Betty Black, and they're right. Happy Black History Month, and I will personally see y'all in pre-recorded content today, but tomorrow. So, can we all say bye?
Thank you guys for coming. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for the sweater, Twitch.